Nigeria is willing to end its diplomatic spat with the United Arab Emirates after tensions affected flight operations as well as issuance of visas for Nigerian nationals. Grateru Omori reports.
Nigeria's new President Bola Tinubu wants an immediate resolution concerning the strained ties between the African country and the UAE amid a long history of limiting flights between the two nations due to unresolved disputes. The UAE suspended the issuance of visas to Nigerians in retaliation to Lagos retentions of funds owed to the Emirates and over the West African nation's policy to block the repatriation of foreign currency, including other issues. In October 2022, the UAE banned nationals of Nigeria and a few other African countries from entering Dubai. Despite the ban, the UAE has invested $225.1 million in Nigeria's economy. Reports also indicate that some wealthy Nigerians have made considerable investments in the UAE, especially in real estate. Tinubu said he is willing to personally intervene in solving the conflict between the countries and called UAE and Nigeria a family. He emphasized that the two countries should agree on resolving core aviation and immigration issues. He ordered the dispute over Emirates Airlines and issuance of visas to Nigerian nationals to be immediately resolved. Tinubu seeks diplomatic resolution at a time when BRICS leaders invited the UAE to be part of the group. Nigeria, on the other hand, was not invited to be part of BRICS, a grouping of major emerging economies comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Reporting from Dubai, this has been Grateru Omori, SMNA News, United Arab Emirates.
In Africa, the country of Gabon is facing a political crisis after its military seized power just minutes after the country's election body announced that their incumbent president had won a third term. Here's my report. A group of senior military officers in the Central African country of Gabon said they had seized power on Wednesday. The military officers appeared on television channel Gabon 24 to announce the coup and said they represented all Gabonese security and defense forces. According to them, the election results were cancelled. All state institutions were dissolved, and all borders of the country were shut down until further notice. The military's announcement came just minutes after the Gabonese poll body announced incumbent President Ali Bongo's election victory. Reports emerged that gunfire was heard in the capital, Libreville, following the announcement of the coup. Following the announcement, people took to the streets to show their support to the military coup leaders. Gabon is a small but oil-rich African country. It is the fifth largest oil-producing nation in Africa, and its government is a member of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC. The recent election victory of 64-year-old Ali Bongo would have been his third term as the president of Gabon. He won 64.2% of the votes in elections. Bongo was elected for the first time in 2009 after the death of his father, Omar Bongo Ondimba, who had been the president of Gabon for 4 decades. Meanwhile, the coup gained various reactions from the international community, particularly from its former colonial ruler, France, with Prime Minister Elizabeth Borne saying that they are following the situation closely. China also said it was closely following the situation and urged for the safety of Ali Bongo to be guaranteed. The Gabonese coup, if proved successful, would be the 8th coup in West and Central Africa since 2020, with the latest one held in Niger in July of this year. The military officers of Burkina Faso, Chad, Guinea, and Mali also seized power. Reporting, this has been Jane Cognita, SMNA News. In his Give Us His Day program, Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy talked about the power struggle unfolding among world leaders, as evident in U.S. President Joe Biden's push for reforms within the International Monetary Fund and World Bank to counterbalance China's growing influence through BRICS. Jade Calabroso files this report.
Well, good afternoon.
U.S. President Joe Biden will push for reforms within the International Monetary Fund, or IMF, and World Bank at the upcoming G20 summit on September 9. Biden aims to make the IMF and World Bank a positive and transparent alternative to challenge China's proposed development finance initiatives. Biden's push for reforms came following the success of the BRICS Leaders Summit in South Africa, which resulted in the more countries joining the economic bloc in January 2024. These countries include Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. This move brings 6 of the world's largest oil producers into BRICS, and negotiations among these nations are expected to use their respective national currencies, posing a significant challenge to the US dollar. This development is expected to strengthen the BRICS new development bank, established by the Association to Aid Developing Economies. Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ stated that this could signify the end of a unipolar world and the shift toward a multipolar world.
Yung G20 or a group of 20 is made up of Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, South Korea, Turkey, UK, US, and the European Union. Yung BRICS is composed of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. At marami pang mga bansa yata ang sumasapi ngayon sa BRICS, ano? So, a group of nations ang BRICS invited the BRICS group of nations invited 6 countries, Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates to join the emerging markets bloc as it made expansion a focus of this year's summit. Tapatan na to.
Pastor Apollo emphasizes that this is a power struggle and countries should carefully consider which side to align with.
So, parang yung mga unipolar world, magiging multipolar world na. So, meron ng mga tapatan itong mga kapangyarihan ito ng mga world economists. So, sa balita ko, ang BRICS, they hold the 41% of the world population, which comprise of how many percent of the world economy. Nasa kanilang mga kamay na yan ngayon. So, kung ano ang itatapat dito at kung ano yung makainganyo sa mga bansa na sumapi dito, ay para sa kanilang kapakanan kung nakikita lang ito'y makakabuti. Kaya meron na tayong mga choices.
To recall, one of the key agendas of the BRICS summit is de-dollarization, and this is being strongly advocated by Chinese President Xi Jinping, Russian President Vladimir Putin, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Brazilian President Lula da Silva, and South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. For God and my beloved Philippines, this has been Jade Calabroso, SMNA News.